Hi all, today we are going to learn MCQs on the play The School for Scandal by Richard Brinsley Sheridan. നമുക്ക് ഒരു ക്യൂക്ക് റിവിഷൻ നോക്കാം. ഇത് ഓൾറെഡി വി ലേൺഡ്. നമ്മൾ സമ്മർ പഠിച്ചതായിരുന്നു. റിച്ചാർഡ് ബ്രിൻസ്ലി ഷെറിഡൻ്റെ ഫുൾ നെയിം റിച്ചാർഡ് ബ്രിൻസ്ലി ബട്ട്ലർ ഷെറിഡൻ, Anglo-Irish playwright, writer and Whig politician, owner of Theatre Royal Drury Lane in London. In 1825, the Irish writer Thomas Moore published a sympathetic two-volume biography, Memoirs of the Life of Richard Brinsley Sheridan. Okay. Now, ഒരു ഓവർവ്യൂ നോക്കാം. ഇത് നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചു വരുന്നതാണ്. ഒരു ക്യൂക്കായിട്ടൊന്ന് നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം. ഓക്കെ, പ്ലേ റൈറ്റ് നെയിം Richard Brinsley Sheridan. Genre, comedy of manner, sentimental comedy. First played on 1777, important ആണ്. First performed in London Theatre Royal Drury Lane on May 8, 1777. വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ് കേട്ടോ. First published year 1780. It's a 5-act play. Protagonist Charles Surfers, antagonist Lord Nearwell Joseph Surfers, setting London, UK 1700s. Okay. Prologue was written by the actor David Garrick and it is spoken by Sir Peter Teazle. Epilogue written by George Coleman the Elder, spoken by Lady Teazle. The play begins with a poem titled A Portrait Addressed to Mrs. Crew. ഇതെല്ലാം ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ്. ഓക്കെ, ഫസ്റ്റ് MCQ. Who is the author of the biography Memoirs of the Life and Works of Richard Brinsley Sheridan? Answer is Thomas Moore. Second one, who is the author of the School for Scandal? Richard Brinsley Sheridan. The School for Scandal is a dash written by Richard Brinsley Sheridan, comedy of manner. In England, as well as in dash, the most popular type of drama during the age of reason was the comedy of manner. In France. In what year was the School for Scandal first performed? 1777. Explanation നിങ്ങൾ വായിച്ചോണം. Okay. The School for Scandal was first performed in London at dash on 8 May 1777. Drury Lane. The School for Scandal begins in the dash of Lady Nearwell, a wealthy widow, dressing room. The prologue is written in rhymed couplet by an actor, playwright, producer and theatre manager named David Garrick, who wrote the humorous epilogue for the play. George Coleman the Elder, who returns the stage to recite the epilogue. Lady Teazle. Dash is written in rhyming couplet and each line has 10 syllables. Epilogue. How many acts are there in the School for Scandal? It's a 5-act play. Who is the secretary of Lady Nearwell, especially active in Nearwell's campaign to slander and smear others? Snake. Summary വായിച്ചവർക്ക് they can answer it easily. Okay. Whom did Lady Nearwell hire to forge letter for her and place false stories in the gossip columns? Snake. Who disguises himself to determine his hires? Sir Oliver Surfers. 2 characters ആയിട്ട് ഡിസ്കൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. Okay. Dash possesses as a prudent and modest person and he is widely considered to be perfect foil for his extravagant wastrel. Dash possesses as a prudent and modest person and he is widely considered to be perfect foil for his extravagant wastrel. Joseph Surfers. Who is a selfish, greedy hypocrite and liar, pretends to be a man of sentiment but is actually a sentimental knave. Joseph Surfers. Dash is really a selfish hypocrite and liar and who wants to marry Maria for her money. Joseph. Dash conspires with Josephus to prevent an engagement between Charles and Maria. Ladies Newell. Ladies Newell is really in love with the bankrupt big spender Charles, who admires Joseph and strongly disapproves of Charles to get married with Maria. Sir Peter Thistle. How many months ago Sir Peter Thistle get married a much younger woman? 7 months. Which character is an extravagant but good-hearted young man? Charles suffers. Who delivers the news that Sir Peter Thistles's old friend Sir Oliver Surface is arriving in England? Rowley. Sir Peter Tithle's friend Sir Oliver Surface has arrived back in England after dash the East Indies. 16 years. How does the second act of the play begin? With a quarrel between the Thistles, who brings Sir Oliver to see Sir Peter Thistle's house. Rowley. What is Lady Thistle's desire in the quarrel beginning the second act? To purchase a new luxury goods. Who does Sir Oliver disguise as tutors his nephew Joseph, Mr. Stanley? In the 1930 film adaptation, who directed the School for Scandal? Theodore. Who is the insolent servant of Charles Suffers? Trip. Dash is an amateur poet and writer rhymes mocking people. Benjamin Backbite. Sir Oliver plans to go to Dash disguised as a moneylender named Mr. Premium. Charles suffers. Sir Oliver plans to visit Dash in the disguise of a poor relative who needs charity named Mr. Stanley. Joseph, who is an honest Hebrew, a Jewish moneylender more scrupulous than Jews. Moses. Dash is the ward of Sir Peter Thistle and thus hires to his fortune. Maria, who sees through Joseph's hypocrisy and recognizes Charles' essential goodness. Rowley. Dash is a young, pretty, headstrong and intelligent personality raised in the countryside, quickly adopted city manners. Lady Thistle, who teases his good friend Sir Peter Thistle for marrying a young wife. Sir Oliver suffers. Who introduces Sir Oliver to Moses, a Jewish moneylender who will accompany to see Charles. Rowley. Sir Peter Thistle accuses Lady Thistle having an affair with Dash, a rumor that Snake and Lady Snowbell have been spreading. Charles suffers. What if Charles Surface decided to sell Mr. Premium? Family portraits. Who refuses, saying that it is the portrait of his generous benefactor Sir Oliver? Charles Surface. Rowley tells Joseph Surface that his uncle has returned the Indies, who reveals that he was paid to forge letters to Lady Snowbell, Snake. Dash is a wealthy aging socialite who serves as socialite nerve center and hub of the School for Scandal, Lady Snowbell. Dash is a pompous, gossipy young gentleman who pays court to Maria, usually with his evil-tongued uncle Crabtree in tow. Benjamin Backbite. Dash is the ill-natured uncle of Benjamin Backbite, Crabtree. A crab tree is a tree that produces only so dash, so his name is comment on his character's own sourness. Apples. Who delivers a song in praise of debauchery, and his surname means a glass filled to the brim. Harry Bumber. Charles Surfer says drinking is how one knows if one loves a woman. A man can drink dash glasses of wine, each one to toast a different woman, and whomever he thinks of once he is drunk is the woman he loves. Tall glasses. Sir Oliver Surfer sent Joseph dash pounds from India. 12,000. The epilogue includes an elaborate parody of famous speech in Shakespeare's Othello. Joseph confesses that he is not as virtuous as he seems, a little dash millionaire, a silly rogue that plagues me, is hiding behind the screen. French. This was HSA 2015 question who talks about how talebearers are as bad as talemakers in School for Scandal. Who talks about how talebearers are as bad as the talemakers. Mrs. Candor. Scandals may be allowable, but in a man, a maid slandered must have the cowardice of a woman before he can reduce one's. Who said to whom? Maria to Lady Snowball and Joseph suffers about Benjamin Backbite. Talebearers are just as bad as talemakers. This was we learned previously. Who said? The correct answer is it's an around statement by Lady Candor because she's a gossip monger. Okay. That was it's a 2015 question. Okay. I have been the most miserable dog. Who said? Peter Teasel. He is a man of sentiment and acts up to the sentiments he possesses. Peter Teasel says to Rowley about Joseph Suffers. Next question. When an old bachelor marries a young wife, he deserves no sympathy. The crime carries its own punishment along with it. Who said to whom? Sir Peter Teasel to Rowley. Madam Truewit is more nearly allied to good nature than your ladyship is aware of. Who says to whom? Peter Teasel to Lady Teasel. I have a devilish rich uncle in the East Indies, Sir Oliver suffers, from whom I have the greatest expectations. Whose words are this? Charles says to Oliver, who describes himself as an extravagant young fellow. Charles to Moses and Mr. Premium, that is Oliver. I may wear a little charity in my face. Who says? Joseph suffers. The silver wand of pure charity is an expensive article in the catalogue of man's good qualities, whereas the sentimental French plate I use instead of it makes just as good a show. It pay no tax. Who said? Joseph suffers. There is nothing in the world so noble as a man of sentiment. Who says about whom? Sir Peter Teasel to Charles suffers about Joseph suffers. Who is the round character in the play? Lady Teasel. Who wants to pass a law against the gossip if it is in his power? Sir Peter Teasel. The young man pretends to be noble and actually a villain. Joseph suffers. And last MCQ is the climax of the play occurring in the screen scene. Thank you. I hope you like this video.